The Las Vegas Raiders home crowd went nuts when number 1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza stepped into the game in his first preseason action on Thursday night. Mendoza saw a good chunk of action on Thursday night against the Arizona Cardinals, playing 32 snaps and completing 10 of 16 passes for 97 yards and a touchdown for a 100.3 passer rating. But the box score doesn't really tell the story in how Mendoza played in his preseason debut. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, is provide some added context to that performance to show you what we liked and didn't like from Mendoza's NFL debut in today's episode of Best Available. Thank you for watching today's episode. As always, make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube if you're not already, and give us a follow on socials at BestAvailableYT. Huge thank you to all of our members who continue to support us. If you'd like to support the channel, I'll leave details to becoming a member in the episode description. But I'm fired up right now. I mean, we had a bunch of preseason games last night and a lot to talk about. So, of course, as the IU grad with behind my head, we have the IU National Championship poster. Let's talk about Mendoza. There is going to be a lot of preseason talk on this channel, but it's always important to remind everyone that it is the preseason, and I've got 13 plays to talk about. I'm not going to act like every single one of these 13 plays is going to decide the future of Fernando Mendoza as a long-term quarterback in the NFL. But I think the added context is important. Yes, he's playing against a lot of second stringers. It's just like a preseason environment where you're not giving away your full playbook, but execution still matters, so we're going to talk about it. And this is the first pass attempt, second snap for Fernando Mendoza in the game. Thought he was just a little bit jittery on this one, but we're going to motion Washington out, so we're going to have an empty backfield, 5-man protection call, and Mendoza's just going to get a little bit jittery here. He's going to feel a little pressure unnecessarily. Now, I like the decision, like, hey, I don't like it, let me just throw it, out of the sideline, but I think he steps out of a fairly clean pocket. As we look here, I know like the bull rush is a little intimidating, coming from the right, or his right, our left. But this pocket's pretty clean. That gets held well. This guy's not disengaging at all. Like, this is about as clean of a pocket, especially by NFL standards, as you're going to get. Mendoza just feels a little jittery. Again, I still think this pocket's clean as hell. But he just gets a little jittery, starts bailing out the back, which is a big no-no. You're going to have to gain a lot of depth to escape the pocket in that scenario. I think he realizes his mistake and goes, I think this pocket's cleaner than I think I initially thought. So he steps back up. He's given himself not a clean throwing platform. You see, he cannot step into this throw. Otherwise, he's stepping into his tackle's ankle and just kind of has to throw this one away. Just a little jittery in his first rep. I expect that from any rookie, making a debut in the NFL. I know it's a preseason game, but still, like, your first NFL reps against competition that can actually hit you, I would be a little bit jittery too. Very next play, 3rd and 8, and I think Mendoza does a much better job settling down and just hits this outbreaker with anticipation. Besh is going to get outside leverage on this corner and then just break at the sticks. And Mendoza just does a great job of throwing with anticipation on this route. So I'll show it in full real quick, just getting it out. Maybe just a little high. It's still a completion for a first, but I like the anticipation with which he's throwing this. You can see as soon as he steps to wind up to throw, he's stepping into this throw before we've even cut. And by the time Besh does cut on that route, the ball is already out there. That's exactly what we want from our quarterback. At the NFL level, so much of your passing game is about anticipation and timing. Everyone's got to be on the same page. Those windows to throw open passes in the NFL are so narrow that this stuff matters. And I really appreciate, hey, a big 3rd down in your first drive. You don't want to go 3 and out on your first drive of the preseason. Nice zip anticipation. Yeah, maybe a little high, but I like the internal clock there and having already that established chemistry with Jack Besh, who I think could be a legitimate rotational role player in this offense. I like his body size out of TCU. I know I've heard he's struggled in camp, but I think, he had a pretty good preseason performance. Curious how that chemistry with Mendoza continues, because that's pretty damn good timing on a route like this on 3rd and 8. I appreciate that Kubiak really wanted to emphasize under center stuff with Mendoza in this game. Like, hey, it's kind of where the NFL's transitioning is. A lot of 12, 13 personnel. You can see they got 2 tight ends on the field right now. So a lot of that 12, 13 personnel under center run the football, a lot of that, and then run play action out of it. I appreciate that Kubiak wanted to get some of this work in on Thursday night. Mendoza did a good job with this play fix. Really like turn your full back there, fake the give, dip those shoulders a little bit. I know that's really subtle, but almost like you're giving that ball with that little duck of his head. Get the head turned back around and then go through your reads. All right, so we're scanning the field, not seeing that. Middle of the field's not there. Trying to look back on that, initial route, still not there. It's still not there. There's a free rusher. All right, let me just get the ball off, dump it off. Now, granted, play gets called back for holding, but I did I like the utilization of getting some reps under this. It's really awkward for a lot of college quarterbacks running under center play action. So I think these reps in the preseason matter a whole lot. But I also just like the internal clock of, hey, it's not there. I keep looking back at it, but with the pressure coming, I just need to get this ball out and hit the check down. Play gets called back, again, for a holding call, but the process here is the right process for Mendoza. More under center stuff from Mendoza, and this, you've probably seen this throw a million times already, but this was his best throw of the night. 19-yard gain on a deep curl to Malik Benson. I think that's Malik Benson out of Oregon. Did not draw that well, but he's going to run a deep curl down there, and you're going to see a pretty tight window for Mendoza. So get the back turn to the defense after this motion on play action. Sell that fake again. Dip that head a little bit like you're giving the ball. This window, we see it right here. It's going to close quickly as this linebacker gets his eyes set again. So he's going to get turned, see the window, and he's going to try and collapse on it. This window is going to be awfully tight. And Mendoza, I think the one thing he did not get enough credit for coming out, really plus arm. I think people forget how big he is and the arm and velocity that he can throw with. This is a great example of that. Tight window with the safety over the top too, to just squeeze that into the curl. You can see he's just launching that thing as he's stepping into that throw. Like I said, awfully tight window to get that ball in. I know it's not the cleanest angle. We can't see all the way back there, but you can see that window that's going between those two linebackers. That's a tougher throw than you'd guess. And I love the placement and I love the velocities just as much. And above all, I love the internal clock here. Get your back turned to the defense, reset your feet and know it's going to be there. Just know where the window is. Step into that throw and launch it. He's just mechanically just beautiful play. I mean, I could watch this one 100 times. One of the better throws of, I watched 4 games, I think yesterday. I have a problem. But I watched 4 preseason games. I thought this was my favorite throw anyone made all of last night. I'm not going to give Mendoza all of the credit for Mike Washington Jr.'s massive run, but I do think it's important to emphasize the importance of, we've been selling all of those handoffs on play action under center. And when you run everything the same, whether it's a handoff or a play action, and you're going through that every rep, it really can hold the defense. And I think this linebacker specifically gets caught in this. Maybe even this defensive lineman who flies too far upfield, but I'm more so worried about this linebacker. We're going to run that under center, and it's going to almost look like his play action, right? He's showing the ball, he's ducking a little bit, and then he's following through like he has the ball at the end of that. And again, not crediting Mendoza for all of this, but you can see because of the effectiveness of the play action earlier, this linebacker gets caught. He's not triggering downhill against the run. Now, this linebacker is a little slow to it too, but does eventually fill. This linebacker never sees it. And, I think all he's done is moved laterally instead of filling downhill. And that's allowing 56 to climb up to get him. And that is a bad situation to be in. One linebacker filled, the other did not. Suddenly we have a gap, and Washington's going to take advantage of that cut, break a tackle, use the offhand, and he's off to the races. But again, not giving Mendoza all the credit here. I do think this emphasizes the importance of being so effective with your play action and also selling out that you have the ball when you are handing it off, that you have to keep the defense guessing. You can't give away what you're doing on every play. And so many quarterbacks want to, take the easy route when it comes to just handoffs. But when you're doing everything similarly and doing it the same, I think this is the end result. And I am a fan of it. Also, just a huge fan of Mike Washington. His tape at Arkansas was so fun. He's really going to be the lightning to Ashton Genty's thunder in this backfield. And I'm very excited about that. As a Hoosier, one of my favorite things I could see Mendoza doing constantly, especially with Waffle House or Elijah Surratt, was those back shoulder throws. And Charlie Becker, I'll be honest, on the outside. But just had an uncanny feel for as we release outside, getting that wide receiver to work back to the sideline and, pinpoint placement on back shoulder throws, where there are times it just felt unstoppable. And there's only a handful of quarterbacks in the league any given year that can hit those with regularity. I liked what I saw on this play. It is an incompletion, but I had to show it. Just, we see the isolation here one-on-one. Get that wide receiver to work back to the football. It's just better coverage by the DB, and that'll happen at the NFL level. But I think the placement of where this back shoulder throw goes, I mean, I don't think it gets much better than that. Again, credit to the DB for being a blanket here. I think with a wide receiver that can sell the back shoulder throw and adjust to it late, instead of, I think this wide receiver is kind of giving away what's happening early. You can see as that ball is in the air towards him, eyes are already on it, already trying to work back to it. If you can be a little bit later on that, prevent the DB from reacting, I think it's a little bit better, but it's an incompletion. I'm probably talking too long about it. I just really liked the placement on the back shoulder throw. Thought it was one of his best throws in college consistently, and I think we'll see more of it at the NFL level. This is just a reminder that Mendoza can scramble. Now, I don't know if he should have, and we'll talk about it in a second, but he can take off. Just please slide next time, or maybe number 80, if you see your quarterback scrambling, go and find that block a little sooner so that your quarterback doesn't die like that. I know Mendoza's built like a tank, but you don't want him taking hits like this in the preseason. I think this wasn't a necessary scramble. I think number 83 right here has got inside leverage, going to break middle of the field, and if he sees it quickly enough, because this linebacker is just vacating to, I believe, the flat from the running back, we got a window right there, and it's pretty damn open. He's just got to hit it, lead it. I don't know what he's seeing here. Maybe he's not anticipating this linebacker vacating his zone. I think he realizes, crap, I'm too late on it. If I throw it now, this guy can get in the way and potentially jump it. He doesn't like this check down here, so he's just going to take off and run. This is just some things like with more reps, you'll see it on film. As the game slows down for you, routes like that will be easier to hit when you're not thinking as much. I know it's a little funky with number 50, the Cardinals linebacker. Apologies for that. As the Cardinals linebacker, vacates, I think you'll get better at diagnosing that, again, as the game slows down for him. We've got third and medium long. I think it's like third and 8 here. We're just going to run a quick outbreaker to get, to first and goal. There's not a lot to it, but I do just like how intentional and quick Mendoza sets his feet on this drop. 1, 2, plant the feet, turn the shoulders, get the feet and shoulders aligned with where you want to throw the ball. Just let it rip. Nice little quick outbreaker on third and medium-ish to get the first down. Throwing with anticipation on out routes is critical. Having the arm strength to throw out there is critical. But I also like how intentionally he's setting his feet. 1, 2, set, step into it, throw. He's such a funky person because he's so big and has such velocity, but his throwing motion is so funky and quick. I just think it does a lot for him when he can throw the quick game like this. Probably another really simple play I'm over-explaining, but I did appreciate it. These are the little things that I like that make you a successful quarterback. I'm going to be nitpicky on this one just because this is a cardinal sin for an offense as a whole. You can't take a sack near the goal line on like first and goal, second and goal. You just can't be taking sacks in this situation, and I just don't love this. Nothing's open here, so I'll give Mendoza credit for that and not forcing a bad throw. This crosser, there's never a window. This window is going to be occupied. This window is going to be occupied, and then if he's late, it's either picked by him or he's going to follow. Wow, I cannot draw. He's going to follow across the formation. So that's clearly not there as he looks at it. Then he looks backside. This is occupied and blanketed across the formation. And by the time he's trying to read check down or anything, does have a rusher in his lap. But in a situation like this, and this is so nitpicky, just throw at Washington's feet. Can't be an intentional grounding. He's an eligible receiver. Just throw at his feet and avoid taking the sack. I appreciate him trying to scramble, make a play. I think this is something on film they'll talk about as well. Just you can't, under no circumstances can you take a sack near the goal line. It can kill a drive. Now, do get bailed out. Mendoza makes a couple plays and they score a touchdown, which we'll talk about in a second. But I just did not like this decision here. I appreciate not wanting to throw a turnover in the red zone either. But at the same time, you got to get that ball out and just live to see another day. That being said, on the sack, Mendoza was doing a really nice job throughout this game going through his reads. And this is a good example of that. We're going to initially look to this flat with Washington. It's not going to be there. We're going to run a spot route with Besh. Not going to be there. And then we're going to run this little whip route with the tight end off screen and then back in. And that's where eventually he's going to go. But watch Mendoza read through 1, 2. Wow, drawing on this is a lot harder than you'd expect. Here we go. So you're looking at the flat. He doesn't like it there. Looks at that spot route, doesn't like the leverage here. The pressure's coming, but he's still going through his reads, gets to the backside, pressure's on him. He gets that ball out as he's getting hit. Tough window to throw that whip route. Still completes it. Nice play after the catch by the tight end. Gives great effort. We get to the 5. Suddenly, we're in a much more manageable situation after that sack. Just good composure in the pocket, not panicking, because his feet look pretty calm, too. Like, he's turning his shoulders and feet with intention, not pitter-pattering around there, just being decisive with all of his movements in the pocket to, set himself up if his read is open, and then finally deliver on that third option. Nice composure there while getting hit to deliver an accurate ball. Few more plays here, including this touchdown from Mendoza. Big one here. You cannot be late on this throw. There's really not a lot to it. We're just running a quick little slant with Besh in the slot. But the window is going to be really tight. You cannot throw this late because of number 0. He's going to be breaking down on it if he sees it. And if you're just any late on it, he's either jumping the route, you're getting Besh killed. So this throw's got to be quick. And as we roll this, he sees Besh. Doesn't even really take a drop in his drop back, right? He just sets his back foot and then steps into that throw. Got to be quick with it, and that's exactly what happens. You can see, like, if he's any later, this number 0 is reading it. Like, yeah, the tight end's getting into his zone, but he is keeping an eye on the quarterback's eyes. And you can see him initially think about the tight end entering his zone, but then he's breaking down into that throwing window right there. Any second later, and that's either picked or incomplete or something bad is happening. So I appreciate Mendoza in this situation. Really quick, get on that back foot, step into it, throw, touchdown. Other thing I love, watch Mendoza's reaction after it. Just he's always so giddy when he scores touchdowns. I don't know what year it is, but we got more under center, but we're not running play action. We're just running a straight drop back with Mendoza. I don't know how many times he did this at IU. No play action off of it, just straight get into that drop. That's got to be funky for a quarterback coming out of college. It's a foreign concept, seeing a straight drop back under center for a quarterback who's in college. But the big thing that I like here more than anything, let me move this screen up a little so you can see it. You can watch his eyes go through this progression. So straight drop back. He does not like what he sees to the left. He's stepping into it, still doesn't like it. But by looking that way, we're moving the linebacker, and this linebacker's breaking on this route. We've got a throwing window for a middle of the field dig, and that's exactly what we're going to switch to. So get those feet and shoulders reset. They were initially pointed this way. Now they're pointing straight into that throwing window. Rifle it in. Oof. Man, I love when he sets his feet and throws a ball. Like the velocity, that ball can jump out of his hand with really good placement. Just like this, straight drop back under center, reset, find the middle of the field dig. Kubiak's really getting him to work on some stuff that is really out of his comfort zone, in my opinion, from what he had to do in college. And I just like that he is executing it quite well in a preseason game. Last one of the day, and I think this should have been a touchdown. We're going to run a corner to the end zone. We're going to run a curl and a flat, and these two are trying to hold defenders as we run to this corner, and we execute it quite well. And I think Mendoza also delivers a good ball here. So you can see all the defenders reacting. This safety trying to break down on this flat, this corner being held by this curl. It really is just safety over the top having to get over, and he's not going to get over in time. So it's just a foot race between this receiver and this defender. Mendoza reads it so well, steps into that throw, launches it. That should be complete. I don't know if just the wide receiver misreads it or what. I don't think it's an overthrow. I really don't. But I like the timing in which he throws this. I mean, that's right in the guy's hands, right? I'm not crazy. That should be a completion. Just even if it wasn't a touchdown, the process, the ball, you can see that ball just stay on a rope. The placement's great. You can really just throw with some legit velocity. I mean, that's 25, probably 30 yards in the air, just stepping into it. Man, I think it was there just right off the tip of the hands. Good play concept. There's not a whole lot to it. But Mendoza reads it perfectly, delivers the ball where it needs to go. I think the wide receiver mistracks it. Still, hell of a throw for Mendoza. Probably his second best of the day outside of that play action into that tight window. There's a lot to like in there. Really fun debut for Mendoza. Love the energy he was playing with. Everything was intentional. I like that Kubiak's trying to get him working under center. So a lot of good takeaways from this. And yes, it's against second stringers, but a lot of good and a lot to work on, which I like. And hopefully you got to see a bit of both of those things in this video. Really appreciate you watching. And if you made it to the end of the video, again, please subscribe. Had a lot of fun with this one. Again, I'm a Hoosier, class of 2016. I still can't believe everything over the past 2 years with Cignetti is real. And now, I've got a bunch of family in Boise. We've got a Hoosiers Boise State backfield in Vegas. I think I kind of have to be a Raiders fan a little bit now. So I'll be keeping an eye on them throughout the seasons, whether you're a Hoosier, a Raiders fan, or just like watching film. Again, subscribe to the channel. Lots of good stuff coming up. We've got so much preseason film to go through that we can start talking about football that's actually happened recently instead of a year ago on this channel. And I'm so excited for it. So again, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with 3 videos, and we'll see you next time.